Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with Pink and Main, and we are going to make 5 cards from their Crafty Courtyard subscription for December of 2019. And this month's theme is Winter Wonderland. So let's first look what you get within your kit. So as always, you get your card that tells you what comes in your kit, a little bit of inspiration, and then, of course, the cute other side, because it's cute. Yes. Excuse me. So, as always, you get the pouch, and you also get your cardstock in Lakeside, Skyscraper, Night Sky, Evening Clouds, Flower Shop, and Sidewalk. And then, of course, you get 2 sheets of a glitter paper in a teal and a silver. And it's like a multicolor silver. It's really pretty. Please ignore the you and me that's on your screen right now. That should not be there. Anyway, moving on. You get your little button. You get a pack of crystal gems, some buttons, a sequin pack, teal, two-tone, and solid tone twine, your 4 envelopes, and now your paper pack, your 6x6 paper pad. One of the things that I love about the Pink and Main paper is the color choices. Colors that not necessarily I would put together, definitely do work, and they use them for different holidays as well. So knowing that this has a winter theme to it, having pinks and purple in there, it's very different for me. You get these awesome foam, and they're stickers, snowflakes, and they are glitter in white and gray. You also get this die that when you cut it out will say warm wishes. This beautiful frame stamp with some sentiments to go along with that as well. And of course, snowflakes. Yay! Okay. You know I love my snowflakes. So for the first cards, I am going to make a set of 4. Now that's not 4 cards, it's just one style. So I've already done a lot of my die cutting and the cutting of the cardstock. So these are just note cards that I'm making that can be handed out during the holiday and or winter season. I am one to send notes. And yes, some feel the old-fashioned way. But I'm not, honestly, I'm not an email person. Or even a text. I am somebody that likes to talk face-to-face. I know that's odd. So just to have these available during the season, I can just send somebody a note. So what I have here, I've taken some of the glitter cardstock and also the solid cardstock, and I've taken those pieces and I've cut them 3 by 4.5. My card bases are 3 by 4.5, so I would cut it at 6, scoring at 3 inches. And then I've cut a piece of pattern paper just 1/4 of an inch shy. So that would be 2 3/4 and 4 1/4. And then I'm just layering these up on top of each other. I am using different card bases between white and craft, just to give a little bit of difference. But again, it's a way to use up what's in the kit. It's a way to use up what's already in your stash to just layer your cardstocks and let your paper do the work, especially if it's pattern paper. If it's pattern paper, it's going to do something for you very simply. It's going to create that pattern. It's going to create that design. It's going to draw the eye across the card. So utilize it. The die that you get in your kit is a really nice size, so I thought that this would be perfect just to sit, whether it's in the center, off to the side, up in the upper corners, and that's exactly what I did for each of these, just setting it in a different area on top of the pattern paper. By doing this, I'm giving each of the cards a different look and feel. And again, just simply by moving that sentiment. I am using my tweezers for when I put the dots of glue on the back of my sentiment. I love the fact that the eye is connected to one part of the die. I'm loving that. How many times have I said in my previous videos I lost the eye? I'm just saying. But you will not lose this one because it's on the other die cut. So it's awesome. So those are the 4 cards that we made. Really quick note cards. They're different sizes. And again, I'm just going to come in with a little bit of shimmer with my Spectrum Noir glitter pen, just to add a little color to them, or a little sparkle. You could continue and just add your glossy accents on top of this if you want to have the sentiment be a little shiny. And then the glitter will come through as well. Me, I just chose to real quick brush over them with some clear glitter. And again, just adds a little bit. You don't have to do this. You could have also used the color cardstock as well. So you've got many options and choices when it came to this design. What I'm also going to add now are the gems, and I'm going to add it right to the eye, the dot of the eye, just to add that final touch. I'm going to choose the gem that's closest to that size so that it can get covered up. For our next card, I've cut a background out of the solid cardstock to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I've cut the aqua panel to be 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to have fun with the foam snowflakes. And pretty much what I'm going to do is just play with the placement. Make sure that I don't have any too similar being next to each other, or maybe the same colors, making sure that I have the different colors next to each other. So I'm just really working the placement of the snowflakes. Once I have them where I want them, then what I will do is remove the backing of the stickers and adhere them down onto my cardstock. Now, I will say this, these are extremely strong. Very, very strong. So adding glue is really not necessary. Which is a good thing, because sometimes when you have the foam with the adhesive on the back, it's not as sticky. You would just need to add a little bit of liquid adhesive, but for these you did not. Good adhesion going on here. So once I get these set, I'm going to pry it off of my mat, because again, they're extremely, look at that, it's strong, and I'm going to use my scissors to trim them. Being very careful when I have to take it off of my scissors. These are wonderful scissors. These are scissors by Fun Stamper's Journey. It's their grand shears. They are extremely sharp. When I have a Band-Aid on, they're the reason. Just saying. I'm now going to use my tape runner to adhere this to my background panel. And I did choose a pink with the aqua. Again, some different colors, even though it's a holiday/winter card. But again, we can use different colors. It's okay. It reminds me of retro. A retro holiday. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment, "Love you snow much." Love those puns. And I'm going to use my white embossing powder, and this is my Brutus Monroe Alabaster. I will heat set that and make sure that it is melted, and then I will trim that down. To remove any of the excess powder, I do use one of my microfiber cloths, and that seems to do the trick. Not a problem. I'm going to adhere that down so it's even with the aqua cardstock, and I'm just going to add a little bit of pressure to make sure that it does stick. I'm going to stick this onto my standard A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this will be a top folding card. For my next card, I'm going to use Innocent Pink Sea Glass, and I forget the purple. And I will make sure it's down in the description box. I'm going to first prep my cardstock with my anti-static tool. And then I'm going to come in with my VersaFine ink, or Versamark ink, and I'm going to stamp the smaller snowflakes, just in a small area. I'm not creating a huge background. I just want to do this towards the center of the card. I'm going to use my clear embossing powder from Recollections, and you can see the reflection there. And then I'm going to use one of my makeup brushes, and I'm going to just use these colors in random areas. Again, I was very inspired by the paper pad and the color scheme. So I wanted to use a light blue, a pink, and a purple for this background. So now I'm going to come in with the pink, and then I'm going to finally come in with the purple. And again, just random areas. I am making sure that when I'm overlapping some colors, that I'm not overlapping too much, because I am going to create another color. Of course, I have ink somewhere on my fingers, so I have a spot on the panel that I'm coloring right now. But that's okay. We can hide that. Yay! So it's all good. You know, when you have spots like that, you can try to erase it. I do not have luck with an eraser. But you can erase it or use a white gel pen. It'll cover it up. I'm going to place this down onto a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch cut piece of pattern paper. I'm going to set this down onto my standard A2 size card base. And it will cover the entire front of the card base. And now I'm going to work on the sentiment that I've already stamped. I'm using Your Kindness Warms My Heart. So the kit, and I didn't show it to you when I did the reveal, came with this coal mirror tape from Doris. So I'm just going to use that. I trimmed off the edges, but it creates a great border for my sentiment. I'm going to prop up my sentiment using some double-sided foam squares that I'm going to cut down. And then I will set that on top of that tape. Once I know that's centered, and there you go, I covered up the mark. You gotta love a sentiment strip sometimes, right? Right. I'm going to glue this down using my liquid adhesive, and then I'm going to trim off the excess. First, I'm going to make sure that my sentiment is centered and that mark is covered. So nobody will ever know that I dropped something. I'm going to add some of the sequins to the front of my card, and I'm going to choose the different colors so that they can be accented across the card. So I love, and I fell in love with the Snowflake frame. So I'm actually going to do 2 different cards with this. So for the first one, I'm using a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to use my Versamark ink. I prepped it with my anti-static tool, and I'm going to stamp this down. From my stash, I do have a silver glitter embossing powder. Now, again, for those of you that have seen my previous videos, you know I'm really not a glitter person. I will use it, and I will work with it, but it's not something that I go for instantaneously. I have realized that with the silver glitter embossing powder as well. I'm still finding it. There is not enough Swiffers to gather this. But that's what that panel looks like. I'm going to trim down the two sides just to remove the white edges. And I'm going to set this down onto my standard A2 size card base, but I'm going to use the sidewalk cardstock that's got a little bit of shimmer to it just to back that up. Now I'm sitting here looking at this, and there's something that I saw when it came to the center. And what I saw was a speech bubble. So I'm going to hand draw my line going around the snowflakes to finish my speech bubble and to form it. I don't know what made me see that, but I did. Now I'm going to stamp my sentiment in the center of it, at least because somebody's thinking of that looking through a window. Yeah, my cards have stories. They have backgrounds. So I did choose the sentiment, Snow Unlike You. I'm going to make, there's glitter still. Yes, I'm still cleaning that up. I'm just going to add some crystals throughout this card and in the center of just a few of the snowflakes. The tool that I'm using to pick up my gems is actually a wax pencil. They use them for nail art, and it works perfectly for me. And again, we'll set this down on a standard A2 size card base. For our last card, we're going to kind of do the same thing. We're going to prep our cardstock. This time it's dark blue. We're going to prep our cardstock, and then we are going to stamp our image using the Versamark ink. Now, instead of any glitter embossing powder, because I put those away, I'm actually going to use two tones. I'm going to use a silver metallic, and then I'm going to use a liquid platinum by Ranger. So what this does, when you mix, one of the things that you want to make sure that you be careful of, you don't want to cross-contaminate your two pots. Okay, that's definite. So I have a piece of scratch paper down below, and I'm going to use, instead of the triangles, I'm just going to use one of my spoons, and for the silver, I went down very gingerly, just put a little bit, and then I came in with the liquid platinum. So you can see, if you look at that off to the right, you can see the difference in the embossing. Now, this stuff here that I have, you can't pour back into any of those pots. So I do have small containers when I start doing mixes. What I like about this, it made the silver look antique in some areas. So it's kind of a very interesting mix. And there's nothing stopping you from mixing two embossing powders to see what you get. So just like I saw the speech bubble, I still did kind of see it in this one, but not as prominent. So, but what I am doing is I am cutting around the snowflakes to get this center out, so that now I do have a frame. I'm going to use my liquid adhesive and set a piece of acetate down and to make sure that is secured. And now I'm going to take my Scotch 3M foam tape. This is what I use when I make a shaker card. And I'm going to double it up, layer up the back, and I'm going to fill this in with some sequins and some of the buttons. Now for the buttons, I'm going to make sure that they are sitting the way that I would want them to sit, the glitter side facing out. But they're not going to flip. So once they're in there flat, they will stay flat. I grabbed a scrap of the silver metallic cardstock, and I'm going to now glue this panel down onto the glitter cardstock. And you can see the different flecks of color that are in that. It's not just a silver metallic. Once I know that is secured, We're going to set this down onto the standard A2 size card base, and this will be a landscape type card. It's been a long day, guys. So these are the cards in normal speed, not speeding through it. These are the cards that we made. So technically 5 different designs from the Pink and Main, Crafty Courtyard kit for December of 2019. And again, your theme is called Winter Wonderland. So there are some beautiful images here. All the products that I used will be listed down below, along with your chance to get your kit and sign up for their subscription. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure you reach out, leave those down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I want to thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed what we created today. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell, hit the thumbs up, and by ringing the bell, you'll know when the next video is ready for you to watch. I hope everyone is having a great day. I hope you're enjoying it, but no matter what you're doing, always remember what's most important for me. Always be creative. Take care.